What is up, investors? Today I want to talk about a company called Kempharm Pharmaceuticals, Nasdaq ticker KMPH. Now, a lot has gone on with this company in the past few weeks, and I felt the time was right to make a video about it. This is a company that I've covered in the past, and if you follow my channel you've probably seen the previous video. If you haven't seen this and you don't know about Kempharm, then I suggest that you watch that video first. It should be appearing in the top right hand corner about now. So take a look at that video, then come back to this one. So in the last video we covered what Kempharm do, the products that they have, and basically the video was leading up to whether or not they were going to get FDA approval for their prodrug candidate KP415. Basically, in my opinion, everything hinged on that drug's approval. I previously stated that I thought if it did get FDA approval then the share price would rocket up, and if it did not get FDA approval the price would plummet. So in this video we're going to look at some of the things that have gone on in the past few weeks, including predictions and analyst price targets, my thoughts on what's going on at the moment and where we're at, and we will look at the most recent financials that have been released and the effect that has had on the stock price. Before we get into the video, if you like the content, smash that like button. We're aiming for 50 likes in this video, let's make it happen. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos that could potentially make you money. Make sure you watch the entire video and don't enter into any stock blindly without viewing all the information on offer. At the end, leave a comment down below. I'm interested to hear what you think of this company. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. All the information in this video is freely available and I encourage everyone to do their own research if thinking about investing in this company. At the time of this recording, I still hold my position in this company, but now I have a bigger position than I held at the time of the last video, and I'm still pretty confident. So the build up to whether or not KP415 was actually going to get FDA approval was pretty insane. Everybody expected the announcement to be made in the morning, so we waited and waited and waited but heard nothing. Then rumours were flying that had they received a complete response letter that we would have heard about it straight away. Then came rumours of a pizza party and optimism started growing. Eventually it was announced that Kempharm had received FDA approval for their drug named Azstarys at 11:30 PM and the craziness really started. The following morning the company held a conference call and at the same time the share price began to rocket up as had been predicted. However, this was short-lived, and although the share price had gone up to over $17 from less than 10 the previous day's closing, it soon began to tumble back down. So, why did this happen? The first thing in my mind is that the market in general was in a downward movement at that time, and there was a lot of fear around regarding a lot of stocks. A lot of people had bought into Kempharm in that $9 to $10 range, some even far lower. And a lot of people were happy to walk away with 60 or 70% profits. There was a lot of buy the rumour, sell the news that morning. Let's not forget that only a couple of days earlier, Azstarys, ticker ATNX, received a complete response letter and their share price tumbled by over 50%. So again, a lot of people were happy just to make money back on Kempharm if they had also been invested in Azstarys. Another reason had to do with the conference call itself. So during the conference call, Travis Mickle took questions from H.C. Wainwright analyst Oren. One of the questions that Oren asked had to do with the label that Azstarys had received and the milestone payments that the company would be receiving as a result of the label they got. He asked what the amount of the payments would be if the milestone conditions were not met and wanted to know specifics about the milestone payments. I'll put a link in the description for anyone that wants to listen to it. Basically, Travis didn't answer his question in detail. I'm presuming that the reason for this would be because of confidentiality agreements between Kempharm and their partners Corium. Then directly after the conference call, Oren lowered his price target for Kempharm by half, from $24 down to $12. In my opinion, all the conditions of the agreement had been met as soon as Azstarys received the 3013 label. Although Oren lowering his price target in half doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to anyone, it spread fear among investors that the amount of money that everybody thought Kempharm was going to receive would not be received. I see no reason why they won't receive all the payments that the agreement said they would. Let's not forget that the management team at Kempharm and the management team at Corium have a history of working together. They previously brought Vyvanse to the market when the teams were at New River Pharmaceutical and Shire, respectively. Another reason for the very bullish short-term price targets was the fact that there was a very distinct possibility of a major short squeeze upon FDA approval. At the time, Kempharm had over 70% short float, and this was being compared to what was going on at GameStop. For anyone who doesn't know about GameStop, take a look at this diagram. It was a distinct possibility that the exact same thing could happen at Kempfarm, but it didn't. For the short squeeze to happen, it needed for the holders not to sell their shares. However, there was far too many people happy to take $16 or $17, and therefore the short sellers had an easy way out, and the price didn't rocket up. So from my thoughts, I still believe the company is massively undervalued. The share price makes absolutely no sense when the company is compared with other companies in the industry. This is a biotech company that now has several approved drugs. They have partnerships in place that are going to bring them a constant revenue stream and milestone payments. The ADHD market alone is worth over $17 billion annually and is expected to grow in the near future. And they have zero debt. Yes, you heard that right, they have zero debt. Most companies in this sector are loaded with debt. Kempfarm have none. The reason for that is Kempfarm had done major financial restructuring over the course of the past year, which meant that they had completely eliminated all debt from the balance sheet. Again, if you want to learn more about this, look at my previous video where I went into it in a little bit more detail. Then finally, Kempfarm reported the fourth quarter and full year 2020 financial results. As we can see here from the highlights, Azstarys had received FDA approval. They've also received FDA clearance to initiate KP879 clinical program for the treatment of stimulant use disorder. They completed financial restructuring that we mentioned just a moment ago, and they relisted on the Nasdaq. So we're going to look at the actual financial statements just instead of reading it from here. As we can see here, net loss for the year ended December 2020 was $12.8 million, a decrease of $11.8 million compared to the net loss for December 19 of $24.5 million. Revenue increased by $0.4 million from $12.8 million for 19 to $13.3 for 2020. Royalties and contract costs decreased by $1.6 million from $2.9 million for 19 and $1.3 million for 2020. I don't want to go through everything on this in detail, so you can take a look at it there. Pretty much the most important part is the fact that the net loss has halved, and this doesn't include any payments regarding Azstarys. When we look at the balance sheet, we can see here that the overall assets for the year have increased from $10.5 million to $11.2 million. From this, cash and cash equivalents has increased by $1 million from 2019 to 2020. There are no major long-term debts. However, the largest part of the liability section of the balance sheet consists of the $67.5 million convertible notes. This has to do with an agreement with Deerfield regarding when they restructured their debts. I touched on this a little in the previous video, so I'm not going to really go into it too much here. Basically, they previously had a large debt to Deerfield, and this was changed to convertible notes as part of the financial restructuring. There's a fair bit of detail on this throughout the 10K, so feel free to take a look at that. We should also note that any future payments arising from Azstarys is not reflected in the current financial statements. So in conclusion, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and bell notification. I'm still very bullish on this company, and I think there's a huge potential in this company to go up multiple times in value. It's currently my largest holding and will remain so until there's a massive upward movement that will tempt me to sell my shares. The balance sheet is fairly strong at the moment. The fact they have no debt and significant cash runway is fantastic. When it comes to biotech companies, they're always risky, but this company in particular has, in my opinion, gone past the risky stage. The huge risk for investors was whether or not KP415 achieved FDA approval. Since they got that, I consider it to be a low risk company in this sector. There is potential for massive rewards with this company. As always guys, this is just my opinion, and if anyone is thinking about buying into this company, I encourage you to do your own research. As I said before, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on the future of Kempfarm? Leave a comment down below, I'm interested to hear what you think. See you in the next one.